Hey there guys, you found the Champ Dog, welcome back to the arena. So I know in my last video I said I was just going to be ranking up using Mono Black to try and get out of gold, but couldn't help myself, playing around with some other things, so I'm going to jump in and show one of these to you. So I've been playing around with a few different Grixis Bolus decks. There was about like 3 or 4 others that I've gone back and deleted. So this one uses God Eternal Kefnet. This one's more built around Bone Crusher Giant, but today we're going to be focusing on this guy. It's a Dimir mill deck. Now you may remember this from the early days of Throne of Eldraine, built around Vantress Gargoyle, Overwhelmed Apprentice. So the only real new card in here is Thieves Guild Enforcer in place of Merfolk Secret Keeper. And I've also thrown in a single Ashiok Nightmare Muse. I've had a lot of fun playing this. This is just a best of 1 deck. I've had a lot of fun playing it in best of 1. Yeah, so we'll jump in and see how we go. Had a funny incident the other day. I was playing against a Dimir Flash deck in what I thought was best of 1, and one-handedly walked off, came back and saw the defeat screen and realised I'd been playing in best of 3. So I did quite enjoy this deck with Eldraine dropped. It wasn't the most competitive deck then. Let's be honest, it's not the most competitive deck now. But okay, this is not a great hand, but I'm feeling reckless, so I'm going to keep it. And it gives us the hello. Let's give him the hello back. Okay, so I think I'll just lead on this and then have double 2-drop next turn. Okay, Drown in the Lock is always good to see. It's a great card if you can fill up the graveyard. Okay, our opponent's on lifelink. We do need land. I don't know about Thought Erasure though. I think it'll be a little while before we're able to play that. So do I want to drop the other Apprentice? I think I just hold up the Enforcer. Flash it into the end of turn, because I know I've got something on top that I don't want to scry. So it might be better to save the scry. Oh yeah, Frantic Inventory. That's the other new card I replaced the story with Frantic Inventory.
Prime day for justice.
Yep, so this way they'll be able to attack with both.
Share in my light.
And just get that extra point of lifelink damage. That's fine. Gideon will not be around next turn. Oh, 2 cards I'm happy to get rid of there as well. Let's get in with the Enforcer. They won't block, because the Speaker of the Heavens is too valuable. Let's just fire this off now.
I surrender.
So I'm not actually sure what this matchup is like. I haven't faced them yet. I've only played a few games with it. You know, I did really enjoy it back in the day. I'm still enjoying it now. It's obviously a tempo based more than anything. I obviously need to kill that off quite quickly. I think I just go for this in this turn and get this up to a 3-2. So these are both really good cards. Lockmere Serpent's a little way off at the moment, so I might bottom it. The Borrower is always good to see. And it will also trigger the Enforcer. So killing this will get them up to 8 cards in graveyard, turning this into a 3-2 Death Touch. So this is a handy little addition to this. I still don't think it's quite strong enough. I think there's the shell of a decent deck here. The sort of tempo backed up by counter spells and decent creatures plan has felt pretty good, pretty strong. But I have a suspicion the stronger option might be something built to maximize Lofty Denial.
Lord of Innistrad. What a mess I
made. Okay. So with this, I just found Into the Story is bad too often. Even waiting in, you know, you have to wait until they have 7 cards in hand for it to become a 4-mana draw 3, which is great at that point. Don't get me wrong. So we're gonna bounce this before they're made. Okay, no we're not. Forgot to set the stop on time. Yeah, so it felt quite strong, but I feel like it's not necessarily quite there yet. Okay, so we could get pretty punished here.
Embrace the bloodlust.
But we'll just bounce this at end of turn and then Frantic Inventory. Beautiful. Unfortunately, that's taken a card out of the yard, so this is back to a 1-1. I really need to draw something a little bit chunkier. Like a, the old gargoyle would be good. I don't know how much action I'm going to get out of this. Didn't say plays. Well, I guess I can counter veto next turn. Unfortunately, I don't have a good play to back it up with, so I think we just have to hold back this turn. Yeah, this isn't going too well for us. I'll be honest. So obviously they'll want to play veto before attacking to get that sweet, sweet value off the Linden triggers. Which means we can do this. Thieves Guild Enforcer becomes a 3-2 Death Touch again. But I really need to get this Sorin off the field. Yep. Okay, so if I was them, I would have sacrificed Sorin to get veto back at that point, to be honest. Okay. Okay, yep, I thought they might start throwing things in the way. Check for Sorin. So we can flash this in to block Linden. Obviously our life total is getting low, but we can gain some back with the Serpent here. Okay, don't want to see a Pride Mate. Also need to start drawing into some removal. Yep.
I demand
So that could be 3 points of damage coming our way. Yep. This is the new cat oven. Just triggers central. Obviously we'll block Linden here. We'll be able to kill Sorin. But unfortunately we're dead. Sorry about the coughing. I've been a bit crook the last few weeks. Throat's a little sensitive. Okay, so that game did not go our way, but that's fine. We'll keep on slugging. Had a really good game against Mono Red with this deck last night. It was quite fun. Bear with me, I'm going to go chuck some warm pants on, guys. Stay warm in this cold weather. And I'm back. Scroopy Loopers! Yes. Okay, this hand is pretty decent, so I'll keep this. Yeah, make sure you're keeping warm in the cold weather. Wildwood Tracker, okay, so we're up against probably Mono Green Stompy here. I'm actually going to lead on the passage because I don't have a turn 1 play. Yeah, so between this deck and the Grixis list I've been building, I've actually really been enjoying playing Standard again, which is really nice. So this is going to be a tough matchup for us, I'm not going to lie. Unless we draw into a Gargoyle. To start blocking effectively. Yep. I think my most effective play here is Thought Erasure. Yeah, okay, so what do I want to get rid of here? Lovestruck Beast or Yovo? I think I take the Lovestruck Beast. Because it's a bit worse of a bounce target, which is how I'm going to be slowing them down with these 2 Brazen Borrowers. Do I want a Watery Grave at the moment? I don't think I need it. I've got 3 other lands. Cult Collector, yep, I can slow those down. Good, they didn't draw a 3rd land. I can slow these guys down with bounce as well. Giant Growth, that's fine. Obviously it's a fair bit of a hit there, but what do you do? Yep. Okay, so unfortunately we haven't drawn any removals, so this match is quickly becoming quite difficult. Yeah, okay. So unfortunately we just didn't draw anything to get on the board in this game, and it's pretty hard to win against an aggro deck like that. But such is life. So it doesn't mean a good showing against aggro these last 2 games. If you played this at all in Eldraine Standard, you know this deck does have the tools to beat aggro. As I said, I had a really good game against Mono Red last night. If you can get on the board, so Overwhelmed Apprentice is actually a pretty good blocker as a 1-mana 1/2. And obviously Ventress Gargoyle is an excellent blocker and difficult for aggro decks to get around for the first few turns. So you can hold them off until your more interactive spells can take over the game. It just, obviously, a certain amount of luck is involved. I used to run Cry of the Carnarium in this as well, but since I replaced Secret Keeper with Thieves Guild Enforcer, it seemed less good. So I'm going to keep this. Again, it's not a good hand against aggro, which is what we're likely facing, but I like to live dangerously. I also don't like to mulligan what are otherwise decent hands. Tenloka, that's fine. So we will exile I think we'll exile the counter spell. This could come back to bite us, but I'm going to be doing a bit of this. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so this is their likely next play. So I take this, they Fenlurker next turn. What do I get rid of? I guess a land? I mean, I need to get rid of this. I can't have them playing that next turn. And I probably also need to get rid of one of these. Okay, Drown in the Lock is always nice to see. Such a good card if you can keep stuff in the yard. Which unfortunately in a format full of heroes is almost impossible. One of the reasons I went back to this deck is I realised there would be less playing out of graveyard with a lot of the bannings making hero less popular. I thought this might be a good way to go. Okay, so they haven't hit their third land. That's good news for us. I think I need to take the Cavalier. I can answer this with Murderous Rider, but if I Murderous Rider this, they get value off the death trigger. I will actually keep that. I've tried this card in Pioneer. Sucks to exile that, but what do you do? Yeah, that's nice. So knowing that's there, I'll actually just play this out as a creature. Yeah, I've tried playing with this in Pioneer, and it's good when it's good, but unfortunately Dig Through Time is so prevalent in that format. Mind you, this is early Pioneer, before Breach and Inverter took over the format. How many cards in their graveyard? 2. So I think I can actually do this and just start attacking. Now they could triple block and kill my rider, and I would be fine with that. Looks like they will. Yep. So they can Witch's Cottage, I guess bring back a Lurker. Which, that's unfortunate, I played this badly. Okay, so they go for Ayara. Excellent. Yep, no Phaedra Pleasance, we'll kill it with the Rider. And we can get the Ayara off the top of their library. So decks like this with lots of mill effects make cards like Ethergust really good or anything, and Scry's really bad. Frantic Inventory is not going to do a lot for me at the moment, and neither's a Swamp. They can both go to the bottom. This will block a Fenlurker nicely and force them to pump it if they want it to live. Okay. I'm happy for them to pump it. That means their whole turn is just keeping their Fenlurker alive. Beautiful. And I've still got this to play out as a creature. So there's no point holding on to this because I could play another Rats or something. I assume this is actually a Devotion deck. Okay, so I do need to answer that soon. Ooh. Ouch. I assume they draw a card and gain a life. Yeah. This is a card that I really wanted to be good when I saw it spoiled. I was really excited for it, and unfortunately just never went anywhere. And you can see, like, in the right situation, it's a very powerful card. Yep. So So really need to draw into some removal. Get this presence off the board. Ooh, Dreadhorde Invasion. Okay, you are not removal. That's spicy. I like this deck, whatever they're doing. I'm pretty sure we're like almost dead to a Gary at this point. 2, 3... Oh no, only 4. It'd be 6. Okay, so our opponent's drawing badly as well. Always good to see. So we haven't drawn our Gargoyle in any of these games, which is sort of our signature build-around card. Yeah, I'll take the 4. So they probably do have the Gary and they're going to finish me off with it. No? Okay, well, either way, this game is over. The flood is real. Okay, 3 losses from 3. We're doing well here. I promise this deck has legs. We'll keep going though. It's interesting to see some of the brews that have popped up even in the best of 1 ladder. I was playing a mono black control list for a few games, which was fun. Okay, this hand looks okay. Turn 1 Overwhelmed Apprentice is always good. That Scry 2 is just so good. I feel like with this, if I'm going to stay on the mill theme, I may actually need to keep Merfolk Secret Keeper, but getting the 4 into the graveyard is just such a big thing when you're trying to fill their graveyard to 7 for the Gargoyle. Okay, so we're up against Flyers, in which case the Gargoyle is actually very good. Okay, so our opponent has not put anything on board yet. So what I'll actually do here is... Oh. Sorry, I had an absolute brain fart there and thought the Apprentice was in my hand and figured, oh, I'll just play that. So I'll get in with this Apprentice. I'll play this island, but I'm not going to play the Apprentice here because this needs 4 cards in hand to block. Oh, they'll draw a card. Nice, I've never actually managed to do that or see it happen before. Okay, so Terramander could be an issue if I'm filling the yard for them. So do I want to play this and fill up their yard, or do I want to play this to get the black to kill something? I don't think I'm in a huge rush to start ridering. So I think I play this. Lofty Denial is always nice to get rid of. Okay, so both of these cards are going to be good. So next turn I'll have 4 mana. I've already got a couple of ways to remove things, so I might get the Borrower first. So there are 4 cards in the yard. My Apprentices can't block any of these creatures, so I might as well get in. So the stop here is to activate the Gargoyle at the end of their turn and mill us both. Oh, except I want both of the cards in the top of my library, so maybe I won't activate the Gargoyle. Yeah, so I assumed they would attack like this. So they've probably got some kind of pump spell. I'm going to try and kill off the Terramander, because it's the one most likely to become a threat. Yep, Rally of Wings. Ooh, nice. That is a good turn for them. Do that. And take this. Okay, so I can get 2 things off this board next turn. With Borrower and Drown in the Loch. Wish I'd had Drown in the Loch last turn to counter one of those pump spells. But this game is not over yet. It's very close to over. Let's not kid ourselves. Okay, so heavy attack this guy. And we're going to destroy this guy. I don't want to bounce one of these because if they replay it, they draw a card, and it's value for them. Thanks. So I really need to get one of these on the board to get some lifelink going. Next turn I take 2. They have an instant. It's another Rally of Wings, so I can't afford... There's that lag there, so I think they have an instant. So if I play one of these on the board, I can't counter a Rally of Wings, and I just straight up die to it. So that becomes a 3-2 lifelink. So if I kill that, this dies and the Fairy Guide Mother also goes into the yard. Oof. Well, that bites. Okay. We're having a real stinker here today, guys. My precious rank. My precious rank. This. Show me what you got. Okay, so this is some sort of mono green stumpy. Do I care overly much about the druid? I mean, kinda, because it's a good mutate target. So I could take both of these significant creatures, counter one of these, and swift end the other. I could take this, slow them down. Yeah, no, I think I'll take the creatures. Another island. We'll draw land eventually. Yep. Like I said, we'll draw land eventually. Yep. Take that. Drown in the Loch. It'll get used. I didn't think about this too well, so I've got to tap out to kill this. So then they can play the other one and I will not be able to counter it.
Fun friends.
I made a mistake, guys. So I think I need to wait to the end of their turn. Which unfortunately means I take a little bit of a beating in the meantime. Yep.
I like to think big.
Yep. Either way, it's gonna hurt.
I've grown tired of this.
So I'm going to keep the didn't say please up, and I can drown in the lock something if I have to as well. Obviously not playing the rider is a clear signal that I'm holding up something, but, you know, I think our opponent has to play to the board anyway, because that's how they win. I think I need to get rid of this. And just hope that whatever our opponent plays this turn isn't too punishing. Swamp, no thank you. Okay, Paradise Steward looking good so far. Okay. So whatever they've got in hand is get our life total back up. Now they can attack with both, but they could do that anyway. So I can counter something and kill something this turn if I need to. That's an easy counter. I would have liked for them to draw those lands. I think I have to kill one of these. We're still not in a great position because our opponent plays a lot of big chunky threats in this deck. I'd really like to see a Lochmere Serpent or an Ashiok or some other kind of removal. So our opponent's holding up something. Could just be the Gilded Goose, sorry, the food activation. But I do think I saw a pump spell in here somewhere. No, I did not. So we go up to 14, it's nice. So we've got the Vantress activation at end step if we need it. Yovo's nice to get rid of. I don't think Apprentice is doing much for us here. But I will take a rider. We're still going to scry it end step. See what's under the rider. Garrick's Uprising, okay. Unfortunate. The only way we can get that off the board now is to Borrower. Let's see what's under our rider. Don't need the grave. So we'll get in with these again. Just keep growing our life total. Okay, so we really want to draw one of our finishes soon because this game is far from over. Nah, inventory is not good enough at this point. Okay, gargoyle, that helps us. That helps. So I'm just gonna keep getting in with these guys. I do feel like they're holding up something. It could be a primal might. It could just be the foods. No, if it was a primal might, they would have played it by now, so they would have lethal. So I'm going to play this. So we're up to 22 now, so we're in a pretty good position. Managed to claw our way back. I'm not going to play the island. Just I don't want to give away everything on our hand if I have to play the rider. There's no need to play it at this point. There you go. We're just going to gain some life. That's fine. Resting Beast, resolves. Yeah. Unfortunate that they draw a card, but what can I do? I should have killed it while this trigger is on. In case they have like a... I mean, they couldn't play a Great Henge now anyway, but... So I guess it doesn't matter. See what else they have. Another land. Another P. Diddy. Okay, so that could be good. Like they can block and kill a questing beast or something. So I'm gonna get in with all of my relevant dudes. Yeah, I can play this. So our opponent is very much on the ropes at the moment. They can gain a bit of life through the food. But, you know, they're just fighting to survive. It's an uphill battle for them and not something that this deck does particularly well. It's fine. So I won't even play this at this point. I'll hold it back as a surprise. I'll attack with the gargoyle. They'll have to block with the goose. No, they can eat 2 foods and stay alive. So opponent's not out of this yet, but it's definitely not looking good for them. Particularly with my life at a comfortable 24. Yep, so they can gain 6 here. And they'll still have their goose. And they'll be left on 1. Having a counterspell is really nice in this situation. Okay, so they're holding something. Okay, they just wanted to create the extra food. Okay, so they're just trying to preserve their life. Makes sense. But yeah, it's really not the way forward for them. Fighting from behind is not something Mono Green Stompy is particularly good at. So, okay, they scoop it up. Redemption. So as you can see, the deck can win games. It can win against aggressive decks. Let's go take a look at it. We're going to wrap this up here at about 40 minutes. Any minute now. Yeah. So as you can see, the deck can win games against aggro decks. We didn't do very well today. Everything we faced was quite aggressive, which is a bit different to what I've been playing against with this. So far, I have played against a few aggro decks, but also a few more like Control-y and, as I said, a flash deck, things like that. So against a very aggressive ladder, it probably needs some tweaking. So we used to run this card, Merfolk Secret Keeper, which gets 4 cards in the library, which is in the graveyard, which is very good for getting Vantress Gargoyle and Drown in the Loch online. And it's also a 0/4 blocker, which can be very relevant against a lot of aggro decks, so that might be a good card to include. Or you can try to build around this a bit more with rogues. So you got Fairy Miscreant. Pilfer is nice. I wouldn't put it in. They have Brazen Burrow is an obvious one. A couple of flash ones. Enforcer, obviously. A lot of the black ones aren't that good. Rancor's obviously great, but he's a bit expensive for what we're trying to do in this deck. So obviously the Dimir flash decks are okay at the moment. I think anything that can sort of play to the board enough to contest it against aggro and hold things off, but still run cheap counter spells to counter the mid-range and control decks that are popping up, is in a pretty good position. There's a good article on Star City Games about Lofty Denial. I think Lofty Denial could be a good option, a good way to go instead of Drown in the Loch. Obviously, Drown in the Loch has the weakness that it's dependent on your opponent's graveyard, and there's a lot of ways in the current meta to get stuff out of your graveyard through like Uro, other escape cards. I've seen a lot more of Cling to Dust recently as well, which can frustrate Lochmere Serpent, and they can also target their own things, and also shuts down Frantic Inventory. So there's a few ways you could go. I think something like this could be very well positioned at the moment, but for now this is just a bit of fun. You could maybe do the Thieves Guild Enforcer with Fairy Miscreant and some other cheap flying stuff to get the mill effects, to have Drown in the Loch and Lofty Denial. It's a possibility. Anyway, I may tweak this a little bit depending on what I come up against, and hopefully next time I show it off for you guys we'll do a little better. But thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed watching. Stay brilliant.